Do you think that Max Miller, who denies this, should he resign from Congress in light of the accusations?
I hope he wins re-election. He's done a good job as a member of Congress.
Hey, so this is actually kind of insane. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, your home for independent and nonpartisan analysis and commentary on politics, media, internet culture, and more. We're going to dive into a kind of dark story that's playing out right now in Congress, and that is with Representative Max Miller, an Ohio congressman facing very serious charges of domestic abuse, allegations of domestic abuse, not criminal charges as of yet, from his ex-wife, who is, interestingly enough, a conservative activist and the daughter of a Republican senator. So some intra-party drama here. And it's not drama, it's serious as a heart attack. However, Republicans who were just railing against Graham Plattner, the Maine Senate candidate who was accused of sexual assault and dropped out in disgrace, I think rightfully so, and I agreed with the Republican critique, are suddenly singing a very different tune when it comes to Max Miller. So here is the headline from Mediaite. I've not heard all this. Jim Jordan pleads ignorance when confronted with damning allegations against a Republican he's campaigning with. CNN's Casey Hunt confronted Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, on Thursday over his continued support for Representative Max Miller, prompting Jordan to insist, "I've not heard all this," when asked about domestic violence allegations made by Miller's ex-wife. Here, we can actually have the clip pulled and are going to watch. This was unfortunate. Let's watch.
I also want to ask you about something a little closer to home. There is a colleague of yours in the Ohio delegation, Max Miller, who is facing allegations of abuse from an ex-wife of the wife and his then toddler daughter. Do you think that Max Miller, who denies this abuse, should he resign from Congress in light of the accusations?
Look, this is a family matter. I know Max is a good man. I was up campaigning for him. I hope he wins re-election. He's done a good job as a member of Congress, and we should all pray for his family. These are difficult times that they're going through. We understand that. These kind of situations always are.
Sorry, he just said, this is a family matter? No, it's actually really not a family matter if the allegations are true, right? So, I mean, if you're abusing your wife and or your child, that's a criminal matter, and it's absolutely something that should cause someone to resign from Congress, and you shouldn't be supporting their reelection for Congress if it's the case. Now, to be clear, we don't know if it's true. It's just an accusation. He denies it, but it should be investigated and looked into, and it certainly appears that there's something going on here, nefarious, but like I said, we don't know for sure. But to say it's a family matter makes no sense and is not true. It's very clearly more than a family matter. And to say he's a good man, I don't know. Is he? If this stuff is true, then he's most certainly not. And I don't understand. Couldn't Graham Plattner have said the same thing? Oh, well, that's just a family matter. That's just between him and his wife, whether or not he abused those other women. It's like, obviously not. If you're doing crimes, if you're abusing women, that's not a family matter or private matter. And for him to claim, Jim Jordan to claim any sort or feign any sort of ignorance about this is a lie, or it's a complete negligence. It can really only be one of the two, because listen, he's campaigned with this dude. These allegations have been out for months. People behind the scenes in Republican politics have been talking about this situation for a long time, and he's going to sit here and pretend he's not heard about it. Oh, this is the first time hearing. No, sir. No one believes that. And if it is true, then you're telling on yourself that you don't do basic research and diligence on the candidates you're supporting. But come on, it's your own state's delegation. I'm sure he's heard all about it and is playing coy here in a way that I don't think is fair or at all consistent. Anyway, she keeps pressing him on this. Let's go. Let's keep going.
But Max is a good member and a colleague, and hopefully he's going to win re-election. But ultimately, in the end, that's up to the voters in his district. But yeah, we were up helping.
Could have said that about Maine and Graham Plattner
at a campaign event up in his district in the northern part of our state.
So, I mean, it's just worth noting. I mean, the allegations include that Miller scalded his ex-wife's chest and stomach when he threw hot water at her, that he held a gun to her head, that he pushed her against a wall and hit her in the head, that he fractured their daughter's collarbone and bruised her shoulder, that his 2-year-old daughter reportedly told his ex-wife, quote, "Daddy,
Casey,
kill you." I want to play for you what you said when you were asked about Graham Plattner, who faced allegations of abuse. Let's watch what you told.
I've not heard all this stuff.
Well, it was in the New York Times. It was in the New York Times. That's the list of allegations. It's been out there for a while. I just want to show you.
Hang on. So him saying, "I've not heard all this. I've not read it." When some of these allegations have been public for months, and the big New York Times report about it all came out several days ago, is diabolical. I don't believe him. I think he has read it, and I think he's feigning ignorance because he doesn't want to take a hardline stance on whether it's true or not, or I think that's kind of a cop-out. But if it really is true, if he's actively campaigning for a candidate and a New York Times report alleging horrific about them has been out, and it's escaped his attention when I've seen it, and I'm not particularly following this random Ohio congressional race, yeah, then there's something wrong with your information system, and your aides should be bringing this to your attention at the bare minimum. So either it's total negligence, which I don't really believe, or he's being dishonest and playing dumb, which I suspect is the case. But she really grilled him on this, and I understand why. I mean, listen, I think the Republican Party was very clear in the Graham Plattner situation. I don't really see how you can have it both ways. That a Democratic candidate accused of abuse is disqualified and must withdraw if that's a corroborated allegation, but a Republican candidate doesn't have to withdraw when accused of domestic abuse. I don't understand how that could really be different. I guess unless you're just doing blatant partisan double standards. That's not really how this is supposed to work. Anyway.
I just want to show you what you told Newsmax when you saw that Graham Plattner was facing these accusations. Watch.
That's always been the case with Democrats. It's all about maintaining power. They will take any crazy position as long as it furthers their ability to win elections and get power, and frankly to go against anyone who goes against President Trump.
Why does that not apply here to Republicans who want to keep power in the seat?
Well, I don't know the context of the question I was asked about Mr. Plattner, but my guess it was about all the ridiculous positions he's taken.
The banner there says Plattner's ex-girlfriend accuses him of abuse.
The Nazi tattoo and everything else. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't answer. I don't know that I answered that question. I think I was dealing with just who he was as a candidate and the crazy anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, pro-Nazi positions that he has taken. I think is evidenced by the fact that he had a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
All right, Congressman Jim Jordan, thanks for spending some time with us.
And frankly, it wasn't me that kicked him off the ballot. It was the Democrats.
All right, fair enough, sir. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
That was interesting. I mean, I appreciate her confronting him on that, and I think it's totally fair to expect Republicans to be consistent on this when they were dancing on the political grave of Graham Plattner over allegations. These allegations are very serious. And anyway, I'll go through some more details here from the New York Times. Domestic abuse allegations rock an Ohio House race. Representative Max Miller, a Republican, is facing accusations of abuse from his ex-wife in a bitter family feud that might put his otherwise safe seat in play. We already went through some of this, but according to court documents, their daughter at one point told Ms. Moreno, "Daddy, kill you." That's concerning, but of course he denies it all. So Mr. Miller has not only denied it all, he has gone on offense against Ms. Moreno, making damaging accusations of his own in a series of media interviews, court filings, and countersuits that have kept the family's personal trauma in the headlines. He has called his ex-wife mentally ill, a liar, a stalker, and a dangerous individual who has made him and their daughter unsafe. To be fair, I want to include what their campaign has said about all this, and here that is. A spokeswoman for Mr. Miller's campaign, Abigail Angelos, noted that the court has continued to permit Mr. Miller joint custody of his child, undermining the credibility of what she called outrageous accusations against him. She said Mr. Miller would continue to vigorously defend his reputation against false and reckless allegations designed to inflame public opinion rather than reflect reality. But here's what I think is incredibly sketchy about this situation. One, this isn't a political situation. So this is a conservative woman whose father is a Republican senator. So it's not like it's some progressive. There's not necessarily a political bias or incentive at play here. But two, he's actually been previously accused of abuse by another conservative woman. So here from the Times, Ms. Moreno is not the first woman to level domestic abuse allegations against Mr. Miller. In her memoir, Stephanie Grisham, the former White House press secretary, wrote that she dated someone else in the administration who was physically abusive. She later acknowledged she had referred to Mr. Miller. So at that point, you have a kind of similar situation to the Graham Plattner situation, where an ex-girlfriend who it's confirmed that he dated, not some stranger accusing him that can never even prove they met him or it's from years ago, a confirmed ex-partner is alleging abuse. And now we have this happening twice with this man. Again, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but I know under the Plattner standard that was set here, he should be viewed similarly if you're approaching this not through a partisan or political lens. But it feels like a lot of Republicans have just said nothing about this dude's case, this dude's situation. Big Republican leaders like Jim Jordan are still campaigning for him actively. So it's almost like these people don't actually care about character and politics at all. And which I do. I've been clear. I think character in politics is important. But most of these people in politics don't care at all. And it's totally selective. And they will feign outrage and go on TV and wax poetic about how terrible someone is when it's a candidate that they want to sabotage and take out. And they'll just totally avoid it if it's a candidate on their side, or they'll make excuses for it or deny it or play dumb or feign ignorance. And it's just another blackpilling moment to me that reminds me how deeply cynical and morally bankrupt our politics has become. Other than that, though, they're doing amazing. I don't know, guys. Sorry, this is a dark story. You're going to have to let me know what you think in the comments below, but I thought it was an important one to cover for consistency's sake as much as anything, honestly. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet. Do hit the like button. Show me some love, show me some support, and consider becoming a channel member if you appreciate what I do here. If you want more news and analysis, not from a partisan lens, not Team Red, not Team Blue, but actually independent. That's what I'm trying to do here, but I do need support from viewers like you. So hit the join button or click the link in the pinned comment to join the channel. As a member, it's much appreciated. With that, guys, we'll leave it there for this one and be back with more real soon.